40 is too late to start retirement planning according to you?
Retirement planning you should do as early as possible. But for some reason, you haven't done it till the age of 40. It is expected that going forward in the future, with India's economy doing better, equity will give a higher return than debt. They would give around 7, currently as it stands, possibly close to 7% or slightly lower. Some of the other banks may give higher. So you are two people, you require that money.
Yeah, correct.
To run the household, you will require, both
Yeah.
of you will require the money.
Hello and welcome back to this very special series on the NPS, that is the National Pension System. We have with us once again Mr. Subhasis Ghosh of Kotak Pension Fund. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thanks, Sana.
All right. Well, in the last episode, we spoke about choices, and that choice was between NPS. Within NPS, how do you invest in that? On this episode, we'll speak about NPS versus other investment options. And our situation in this episode is again a tricky one because it is about a couple in their 40s who is comparing NPS, mutual fund, PPF, and FDs to decide where to invest. So, first of all, is 40s too late to start retirement planning according to you?
See, retirement planning you should do as early as possible. But for some reason, you haven't done it till the age of 40. You should start as early. You should start right now.
So, good to go for the 40-year-old couple who wants to.
Absolutely.
Okay, and as you grow older, like because you have lesser time, of course, to get that kind of return and the maturity on your 60-year timeline that you have, would you say that you should maybe invest more? I mean, of course, a 40-year-old couple will also have more money than a 25-year-old.
See, there are two parts to it. You should invest depending on how much you think you'll require at the time of retirement. That is very critical for you to assess. On the other hand, if you feel you can continue to work or have some income after 40, so it depends your situation. At 60, you can take the money, but you don't have to. If you can invest, go on investing, no problem. Or if you can't invest, but you don't require the money, let the money be there. You'll earn returns, just put 1,000 rupees a year to keep the account active. The balance will anyway earn you returns.
Right. So, but like now, somebody is in their 40s. So, between these investment options that we mentioned,
Okay.
PPF, FD, how do you think they should kind of asset allocate?
Okay, so let's look at each and every one of them individually. You're 40, or say even 44, 45 for the matter. PPF is exactly for 15 years and then 5 years thereon.
Yes.
So PPF can be one of the modes of investment. However, you should compare the interest that you would have got on PPF vis-a-vis that you get in NPS.
Yeah, that should be an interesting number.
Yeah, historically, NPS, of course, with a high equity component, you can go up to 75% equity, will definitely, as in the past, has given a higher return than PPF. It is expected that going forward in the future, with India's economy doing better, equity will give a higher return than debt, which is PPF all about. So you will get a higher return. That is number one. As far as FDs are concerned, the maximum period normally one would invest, even normally, I don't think you can invest for more than 10 years in an FD. In which case your retirement needs are not taken care of if you're in your 40s, because somewhere in your 50s, the FD will end and then you have to start another FD with possibly a different rate of interest at that point of time. Keeping both in mind, it is obvious that your first choice should be NPS.
Right, and FDs also I think is supposed to be a more short-term instrument.
No, so the
right?
maximum you can do FDs is 10 years. The other part, both as far as PPF as far as your FD is concerned, we haven't taken into account that income tax benefit. There is an income tax benefit, substantial income tax benefit, both on investment as well as on maturity. In the case of old tax regime, and in the case of new tax regime, at least even if you are self-employed, you definitely will have a tax-free exit. When the money comes out, it comes to you complete tax-free. And if you're working, then it is exempt also, even in the new tax regime.
Right.
So if you take both into account, NPS will definitely have a higher, you will have a higher corpus in NPS when you retire.
So are there any figures as to, say, over a 10-year period, you've told us NPS returns, an average return that maybe mutual funds or FDs would give as compared to this? FDs, I think because of the taxation, the overall, even if the return is 7.5.
So I think, yeah. So I mean, again, it depends on which bank you go to. Now there are lots of banks, so the range would be vast.
Yeah.
But I would suppose the nationalized banks and the larger private sector banks, they would give around currently as it stands, possibly close to 7% or slightly lower. Some of the other banks may give higher, of course. Definitely, they may give some higher. But that's the choice you take where to put your retirement money in.
Correct. All right. And also, since we are talking about a couple, so there are people who I know who, think that, okay, my spouse is going to get pension, right? And so, they kind of asset allocate based on couple finances, like couple goals. Like, okay, he will take care of the pension, and then maybe I can invest, like, largely in equity or whatever other instruments are there, because a significant portion of, I mean, even for them to get pension, it's going out of their salary only. So at the end of the day, it's similar, right? Like, it's your employer is cutting that amount, and it's you're going to get pension at the end of it. But would you still suggest that, again, since this is a couple, that both the partners, if they're working, invest in NPS separately?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because the husband will get tax deduction based on his salary, in the old as well as in the new. Similarly, the spouse, if she is not investing, then that much extra tax she is paying. That much tax, if you take the effect of the tax at the beginning, in the accumulation phase, and at the end, all that benefit she will lose if she is not investing in NPS. And for you to get that kind of an equivalent return substantially and continuously right throughout till you retire is going to be a long haul for an average couple. If you're very much glued into equity market, if you feel consistently you can give higher returns, then that's to that person. But I would suggest that such persons will be few and far between.
Correct.
An average person would not be so glued onto equity or debt markets. You should let the professionals handle your money, at least to the extent that you're getting tax benefit. If that you're not doing, then I think you're taking a huge risk.
And then you get two pensions at the end of it.
So you are two people. You require that money, no?
Yeah,
That,
correct.
to run the household, you will require both of you will require the money.
Yeah. And it may just be an advantage, because like one pension would be whatever
Will not be
amount.
sufficient.
May not be. May not be.
Yeah,
You
sure.
never know with inflation at the
It may not be
levels that it
sufficient.
is.
You're right.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so also could you tell us about how much benefit it gives because of the difference in the fund management charges of NPS and mutual funds? Again, like dipping into our previous example.
See, I wouldn't want to do a comparison. I
That's
just
fine.
want to tell
Balanced
you that
portfolio.
I just want to tell you that NPS is globally world's lowest cost actively managed fund. So you would get a return, keeping that in mind, that the fund management charges are so low.
All right. Also, just an additional question. Do you think there's like a threshold that like for example, NPS is essentially for long-term goals, right? So, I mean, I know I asked you this in a different way, but just to like get a little more juice out of it, do you think that if you're a little too late, you will not get the kind of returns that some other instrument may give you?
I really don't think so, because where does some other instrument will invest? He'll invest in the same market.
True.
So, as I said, unless you are able to manage the funds completely actively yourself, I can think of only stock markets. If fixed income may not give that kind of return. Stock market is the only thing that may give that kind of return. Or if somebody is very good in property or take some punt on gold, or but then we are moving into the realm of uncertainty.
Yes.
So at any point of time, because of his low fund management charges, because of the income tax benefits that you're getting, like to like, most probably you're likely to get a much higher return in NPS than any other savings mode. Unless, as I told you, you're very, very market savvy.
Well, I think the conclusion from this episode is pretty obvious. No matter where you are in life, even if you have not started at the right time, which is maybe when you're late 20s and 30s, do start at wherever you are in life and it will still give you enough returns. Thank you so much for tuning in. More on the next episode.